Hi, everybody. It's a little different of a format, little different of things going on here, but it's Thirsty Thursday and it's 9:01. Oh my goodness, 9:01. But it's 9 o'clock. It's time for Wine Antics Live. Welcome back. Welcome back to everybody out there. Welcome back to myself. It's been a whole, I think, 6 weeks. 6 weeks since I've been on the air for Wine Antics Live. And as you can see, I am Sans Stubb, my co-host, normal co-host for Wine Antics Live. It's because he's somewhere between Chicago and Milwaukee the last time I checked. So I wish him the best of luck in getting out to the Beer Bloggers Conference. I hope he's made it there safe and he's enjoying a beer right now. If you don't know who I am, I should back things up and tell you I am Jen. I am Wine Antics. I am the creative energy, the lush, the wine lover behind Wine Antics. And we have done Wine Antics Live on and off for about a year and a half now. Can you believe that? A year and a half. I'm going to really quick hop over to Facebook Live and Periscope, make sure everything is up and running, and see if anybody is out there. So, for those of you that are out there, how is your night? Oh, look, Stubb. Oh, Stubb is there. He says he's still in Chicago. Goodness gracious, Stubb. I'm so sad to hear you're still in Chicago. You should be in Milwaukee by now, because last time I talked to you, it was like 3 hours ago. That is horrible to hear. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. I've been looking at Nashville lately. It seems like a pretty great city. I've been watching a lot of random shows, like DIY shows and builder shows, and Nashville keeps coming up. So I always think about you when I see that. Hi, Justin. Thanks for coming by. So tonight, if you can tell by my lovely graphic, my little garden gnome that I used in the promo for this show, we're talking a little bit about patio wines, and I feel kind of like lost without my co-host here. That compliment of what I wouldn't normally think about drinking, or what may be different, or a little different spin on things. But I'm going to do my best, and I appreciate any of your help to make that possible. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you're drinking tonight. It's a great, Thursday night? It's a great pre-Friday night. I'd love to know what you guys are drinking tonight, or what you've had on some of these hot summer days, your patio wines. What's your favorite drink and wine for summertime and for sitting outside in the patio? I'm actually going to go through a lot of what people have said on my personal Facebook page. I got about 31 people to respond telling me their go-to wines when it comes to sitting out on the patio, relaxing and enjoying a great glass of wine. So I'm going to share those. I'm going to take the top three. I literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different varietals, and then I had votes in between for them. But I'm going to take the top three, and I'm going to kind of dive into them and talk about them a little bit more, and then share a couple other ones that I had that didn't make the list and that I really love and appreciate. I'm checking to see if I'm up on Periscope real quick here. Maybe not. Yes, I am. Let me see who's over on Periscope, if anybody out there. Can you hear me? I'm sure if they're there, they'll come by. So I'm going to start out really quickly with the top one. And I think I had 2 or 3 of them that actually made like 4 votes each. And actually this wasn't the highest ranking one, but I want to start with this varietal. I would say this is the third runner up, but it is Maybe. Look at that. All the audio went out. And you saw my face. I'm having trouble watching Facebook, heading to YouTube, having a bit of trouble with the video portion. Oh, I'm so sorry. We were having a little problem. I will check it out. I will open up YouTube and make sure that's going too. I'm trying a bunch of new things, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me and seeing what's going on. Yep, I'm up on YouTube, and I will look over there and answer any questions over there. So I wanted to get back to Albarino, and I think Debbie, the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess, was here. Her and Lori from Dracaena Wines, they did Hey is for Albarino in one of their new, I think it was a live stream / podcast. So I really, if you're here, Debbie, throw up the link to that, because that would be a great way to get some information. I know, I'm sorry, Douglas. I'm sorry. I didn't set one of the sources right. So now I'm glad you can hear me now. I caught myself. Debbie, if you're still here and if you're still watching, I would love it if you threw up your link for the A is for Albarino in your alphabet series of describing wines. I think that would be a great complement to today's discussion. So Albarino got, I think, 3 votes out of the 31 people that talked about different varietals. It got like three votes on there. And when I have such a diverse group of friends that are on my Facebook page, so for any one thing to get this much of a pull, and it was the third highest ranked wine. And I think it says something about the wine. It's really unique. It's crisp. It's delicious to enjoy during the summertime. It kind of looks like this wine glass that I have behind the scenes, nice and cold, and usually a tad bit minerally. Yes, that's the word I'm using. It has a good amount, a medium amount of minerality to it. I have had some that are higher in acid than others, but generally it's just a really clean, little bit of citrus, maybe even a little bit of tropical notes, something very enjoyable, light and easy to drink, perfect for the patio. Maybe not so much for 104 degrees as we've had, but it's really quite enjoyable for the patio. So the second one that we had, and I know many of you wine lovers out there will know these varietals, and none of them will actually surprise you, is Vino Verde. Vino Verde, which loosely translates to green wine. As I've gone through and I've learned a little bit more about Vino Verde, you can see on the graphic there's a little circle right there. Thank you, Debbie. I'm so happy. Thank you for pinning that up. I'm so glad you did. Great. So going back, that's A for Albarino. Debbie has posted that. They had a great podcast / live stream all about Albarino, which was the first wine that ranked up among wine lovers for their patio wines. Go check it out and get some great information on that. Vino Verde, which loosely translates to green wine. I've learned a lot in just kind of going through today and finding out where exactly Vino Verde comes from, right? What exactly are the varietals in there, which I hadn't really thought about. I was like, when I went through and I was like, what are the actual varietals? What are the grapes behind Vino Verde? It's actually 2 of them, and Albarino. If it sounds like Albarino a little bit, it's because they're basically the same thing. They're just a border away. And Vino Verde as a region is in the northern part of Portugal and very close to the Spanish border. I wonder. Spain border. There you go. And so these are the 2 that I have up on the screen. These are the 2 grape varietals that are primarily found in white Vino Verde. Now, to mention and to caveat that there is white Vino Verde implies that there is a red Vino Verde. Yes, there is. There's totally a red Vino Verde. It's not as common here in the United States, but it can be found, and it does sit under the $20 price point even for that. I've enjoyed it. It doesn't stand out blatantly in my mind. It is nowhere near its white compadre. I feel like I'm getting Spanish here. I feel like I'm talking about some Spanish and some Portuguese wine. I feel like I'm getting Spanish here. It's nowhere near as highly acidic and intense minerality and kind of underripe notes in different vineyards and different styles of creation. I never get any tropical on it. It's all citrus or just really clean. Maybe even some like honeysuckle or some actual floral notes on it. I would lean away. But the biggest thing that differentiates and makes Vino Verde stand out, and this was tied for number one in the patio wines that all the wine lovers I asked enjoyed, is the little bit of effervescence to it. Vino Verde always has a really light, a really fun bit of bubbles, and that's why I kind of put it in the graphic there. Just one little bubble, because it's effervescent, it's not bubbly, but it definitely gives you a sense of what feels cool and refreshing, and a little bit something different than what you would expect. Yeah, so I'd love to hear what you guys think about Vino Verde. I know some people voted for it. You're welcome, Debbie. You're totally welcome. I'm glad that you could pin up that comment. So if you know anything about Vino Verde, if you have an opinion about Vino Verde, if you have any questions about Vino Verde, I've tasted a few of them, and they're usually drank very young, very enjoyable, and perfect for very hot days because it's if chilled really nicely. It's such a great compliment to sitting out on the patio and enjoying just a nice bottle of wine. And I think the alcohol stays relatively low, right around that 11%. So it could sneak up on you. I particularly love to make sangria, white sangria. So we add some like ginger ale, some Sprite, some mint, some green apples. It's such a great compliment to that. So this one is tied for first place in what my wine lover friends enjoy to drink patio-wise. The first one, which should be no surprise to anybody, right? The one that was voted the most was Bubbles. Bubbles! Yes, Bubbles. Bubbles is loved by everybody. And Bubbles come in three major categories. Major bubbles, they're not varietals, they're just types. They're types from different countries. Many of them are made in the same way, but what stands out is champagne from the Champagne region of France. Bubbles, if you could drink that every day, if I could drink that every day and afford it, it would be amazing. But it's great. Bubbles go with everything food-wise. Amazing just to sit and drink on the patio and totally enjoy it. The second one that many people, I'm so impressed, have started to pick up on and really start to explore with like cocktails and doing different things with it is Prosecco. Prosecco is Italian sparkling wine. It's basically what it is, and it could be a variety of different grapes put into the production of Prosecco. Comes at a very wide range of price points. I think I've seen them as low as probably $6 to $8, and I've seen them as high as $30. And I'm not saying that I know the entire breadth of Prosecco. I totally do not, but that Prosecco is my go-to type of bubbly when I make mimosas. It just seems to be for me on the drier side, because you could get it dry or sweet. On the drier side, it makes for the best base for mimosas or any variation of juice and bubbles that you like to drink for brunch or a random Monday, because Monday could be for bubbles. The third one, some people may or may not have heard of. I would hope you have. Cava. Cava is the Spanish form of bubbly. It is generally, if not exclusively, made in the Catalonia region, right near Barcelona. I have only explored a couple different cavas. Like, I feel like I should just go to Barcelona, because that's where I would experience the best of it, right? And I'm always excited to try new things. I think the hardest thing is the price point. There's only a few producers that are shipping and selling to the United States, so you don't get that great of a variety out there. But I'm always excited to try new and different forms of these three primary types. There is one other region that I really love for bubbles, and that's coming out of England. Now, they sit at a higher price point, but they are doing some very, very unique things with bubbles out there. And for different reasons, there's global warming and climate change and whatnot is happening. Some of the growing season and things are changing. Things are changing so that the UK can produce better still and sparkling wine. So if I get, it's like a treat. It's like champagne because it doesn't come at a low price point. It's usually $30 by the time it gets over here to be able to enjoy a bottle of English bubbly. So it's a little tidbit for the list, but all of these are amazing for outdoor activities. It puts everybody in a party mood. It puts yourself in a party mood to sit out there and have an enjoyable glass of bubbly. And they come in a very wide range of price points. There's a couple others that I wanted to actually share because there were people that recommended some other things. Moscato, for example, came off the list very highly. There's nothing wrong with that. Totally nothing wrong with that. Moscato is enjoyable both still, which means it's flat in terms of bubbly or still flat, and it's quite enjoyable. Many people are turning their sangrias. They're making their sangrias. They're making sangria out of Moscato, and that's, if you ever watch Vine Pair or any of the other shows out, the little clippets on Facebook, many of them are starting with that base of Moscato. I'm not a big sweet fan, but I can appreciate a good bubbly Moscato every once in a while. So you need to see, and maybe if you're having a party, for example, on the patio, pick one or two of a dry, and of a sweet. Moscato does really well, and it comes pink, right? I haven't even talked about rosé and where our favorite rosé patio wines come from. Personally, I like the Grenache and the Mourvèdre. So those grapes are going to come out of southern France, and they're going to come out of a little bit of the northern Catalonia where Cava is made. They are great rosés. I like Grenache and Mourvèdre, but I don't really care where they come from. But the rosés are great. I don't think many people consider rosé a red wine, but you have to be making rosé from red grapes, which is how you make red wine. So you're drinking just a lighter red wine when you drink a rosé. And tonight I'm actually drinking a red wine because I don't want people to be scared of red wine for the summertime. You got to find something light and something enjoyable, something maybe not with that intense alcohol that you can meet with many California reds. Tonight I'm drinking a Maryland wine. I'm drinking Port of Leonardtown. It's the red lot 15, and this is the Vintner Select. Kind of know the vintner there, and lots of love sent out to Lauren Zimmerman, who's up in Canada right now. And this is a blend of Merlot and Cab Franc and a little Lambic, from what I remember. No, Limburger. And it's really light. It sits nicely. It's not super high alcohol. It's kind of fruit forward and intensive. And I'm really enjoying that tonight. A couple other recommendations. Beaujolais. Beaujolais is beautiful and light and amazing for summertime, as well as somebody put in Cab. There's nothing wrong with drinking a Cab. Chill it down a little bit. There's no rules really when it comes to wine, just like there's no rules when it comes to drinking beer. So if you want to chill down your red wine and enjoy it in the summertime, go for it. Totally go for it. I think a couple other ones that were mentioned were Viognier. Delicious. Viognier is amazing here on the East Coast, Maryland and Virginia particularly, and I think up in Pennsylvania they would argue that they're pretty good too. And Scuppernong. If you're not from North Carolina, you may not know what Scuppernong is. It's actually a muscadine, which is, I went through this discussion this week recently, learned a little something about American varietals. Scuppernong and muscadine are the same thing, and they are this really, saturated tasting wine. It's like golden raisin, a little bit of muskiness to it. And I hate to say that about a wine because there are some great producers out there that are doing very amazing things with American varietals. It is an acquired taste, but you should give it a try. So if you ever see Scuppernong or muscadine, they are the same thing. Not to be confused with muscat and Moscato, which are the same thing, but this is a completely different variety, completely different species of grape, primarily seen in France and Italy. Yeah. So those two were mentioned as well, and then I had two others to add to the list. A little bit of Sauvignon Blanc. My favorite go-to is Sauvignon Blanc. It's super acidic, super crisp, super citrusy, just clean in your glass and makes you happy, right? Same thing to be said, I would even say, with Sip-Hop-HOORAY, a French grape, French wine, southern France mostly, and it's really clean, really clear, really great at the lower end of the price point, and something I really enjoy on very hot days. I've been doing Friday at the Fountains, where I'm pouring wine in Crystal City, Virginia, and Sip-Hop-HOORAY is on the list every week. Some people look at it and they're just like, what is that? What? It sounds foreign. It is foreign. It's Sip-Hop-HOORAY. But they give it a try, and it kind of reminds a lot of people of Pinot Grigio. And that is, if somebody says they enjoy Pinot Grigio, that's where I tend to push them towards. So, I appreciate everybody being here, chatting with me. I've had a great time sharing my summer patio wine list with everybody. I hope you have a great evening, a great weekend. There's some really killer recommendations in there, and I've shared the thoughts of a lot of different friends of mine that have come together and put their information out there. So go back and check the replay. And I will see you guys here next week. Hopefully my co-host will be back and we'll have another great topic for you guys. All right. I'll see you later.